Every great achievement begins in the mind. Every fortune, every invention, every work of art, every empire, it all starts with a single spark. And that spark is desire. Desire is not a wish. It is not a passing thought. It is not the kind of dream you entertain while lying in bed at night, only to forget in the morning. Desire is something deeper. It burns. It consumes. It refuses to be ignored. It is the fire that compels you to act, to sacrifice, to persist until what you seek becomes reality. If you study the lives of the wealthy, the successful, the influential, you will find one trait again and again: an unshakable desire to achieve something specific. They did not merely hope. They did not merely want. They decided they would achieve, and their desire fueled them through every obstacle. The difference between wishing and desiring. Many people wish to be rich. They wish for success, they wish for comfort, they wish for freedom. But wishing alone produces nothing. A wish says, "Wouldn't it be nice?" But desire says, "It must be so." A wish drifts in your mind like smoke. But desire burns like fire in your chest. And that fire is what drives action. It pushes you out of bed in the morning. It keeps you awake at night. It makes you willing to endure struggle, rejection, and failure, because the goal is worth it. Without desire, wealth and achievement remain fantasies. With desire, they become inevitable. Desire creates vision. When your desire is strong, it sharpens your vision. You begin to see opportunities where others see nothing. You begin to connect ideas that others overlook. You begin to notice doors that were invisible before. Desire gives you focus. It clears away distractions. It channels your energy toward a single purpose. Think of a magnifying glass. Sunlight scattered over a surface is warm but weak. But sunlight focused through a lens becomes powerful enough to ignite fire. Your mind works the same way. Without desire, your thoughts scatter in 1,000 directions. With desire, they concentrate into a force powerful enough to change your life. The price of desire. Desire is not free. It demands a price. To achieve wealth, you must be willing to let go of laziness, excuses, and comfort. You must sacrifice the distractions that weaken your focus. You must pay the price of persistence, patience, and self-discipline. But here is the secret. When your desire is great enough, the price no longer feels like sacrifice. It feels like investment. Because the fire inside you is stronger than the obstacles before you. A story of desire. There was once a young man who wanted to work with the great inventor Thomas Edison. He had no money, no connections, no qualifications. But he had desire. He traveled to Edison's laboratory and declared, "I have come to work with you." At first, he was given small, insignificant tasks. Others laughed at him. But his desire was unshakable. He persisted, day after day, fueled by his determination. Years later, he became Edison's trusted partner and grew wealthy through their collaboration. What made the difference? Not luck. Not talent. But desire, a burning desire so strong it refused to accept defeat. Turning desire into wealth. Now, how do you take your desire and turn it into wealth? First, you must define it clearly. Vague desire produces vague results. Specific desire produces specific results. Do not say, "I want to be rich." Say instead, "I will earn $100,000 within the next 2 years through my business." Clarity sharpens focus. Second, you must visualize it. Hold your goal in your mind until it becomes real to you. See it, feel it, believe it as if it has already happened. Third, you must act. Desire without action is fantasy. But desire expressed through daily effort becomes progress, and progress becomes achievement. Your burning desire. Pause for a moment and reflect. What do you desire most? Not what others expect of you. Not what society says you should want. But what burns within your own heart. Do you desire freedom? Do you desire wealth to care for your family? Do you desire mastery in your craft? Do you desire to leave a legacy that outlives you? Whatever it is, claim it. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Feed the fire until it grows into obsession. Because wealth does not begin in the bank. It begins in the mind. And the fuel of the mind is desire. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I will no longer wish for wealth. I will desire it with burning passion. I will see it, believe it, act upon it, and achieve it. Nothing will stop me because my desire is stronger than my obstacles. This is the first law of wealth, the power of desire. It is the foundation upon which all riches are built. In the next chapter we will explore the second law, faith and belief. Because desire alone is not enough. You must believe, with unshakable conviction, that your desire will become reality. Chapter 2, Faith and Belief. Desire is the starting point. It is the spark that ignites the fire. But desire alone will not carry you to wealth. Desire must be joined by faith. Faith is the belief that what you seek is already possible for you. It is the confidence that your goal is not just a dream but a destiny. Without faith, desire fades. Without faith, action weakens. But with faith, mountains move. With faith, obstacles shrink. With faith, your vision becomes unstoppable. The power of belief. Every achievement in history has been fueled by belief. Before airplanes existed, the Wright brothers believed they could fly. Before electric light filled the world, Edison believed it was possible. Before wealth was created, entrepreneurs believed they could succeed. Belief precedes reality. What you believe about yourself, you become. If you believe you are powerless, you will act powerless. If you believe wealth is out of reach, you will never pursue it with conviction. But if you believe that riches are possible, if you believe that success belongs to you, your actions will align with that belief. Faith transforms desire into certainty. And certainty attracts opportunity. Faith is learned. Faith is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It grows through repetition of thought. The words you speak, the images you hold in your mind, the affirmations you repeat, these are the seeds of faith. If you constantly say, I can't, I won't, it's impossible, you are programming your mind for failure. But if you declare, I will succeed, I am worthy of wealth, I am capable of greatness, your mind begins to believe it. Faith is built by suggestion, and the most powerful suggestion is self-suggestion. Autosuggestion in action. Every day your mind is listening. It hears the words you say. It absorbs the thoughts you entertain. This is why affirmations are so powerful. When you repeatedly tell yourself a truth, your subconscious begins to accept it. And once your subconscious believes, your actions follow. If you say each morning, I am wealthy, I am disciplined, I am focused, I am achieving my goals, you are planting seeds of faith. And those seeds, watered by repetition, grow into conviction. Conviction guides your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. The danger of doubt. But just as faith builds success, doubt destroys it. Doubt is poison to desire. It whispers, maybe not, maybe later, maybe never. And when you allow doubt to dominate, your desire weakens, your persistence fades, your actions slow. Soon your dream dies not from failure, but from hesitation. This is why you must guard your mind. Surround yourself with voices that encourage, not discourage. Feed your mind with stories of success, not failure. Choose faith over fear every single day. Faith turns the invisible into visible. Wealth begins in the unseen. First in your thoughts, then in your belief, and finally in your results. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the conviction that even if you cannot see the result yet, it is already yours in potential. This is why the wealthy act boldly. They trust the unseen. They act on faith, and their faith creates the reality they envisioned. A story of faith. There was once a man who lost everything. His business failed, his debts piled up, and his reputation collapsed. Everyone around him said he was finished. But he refused to accept it. Each day he told himself, I am not finished. I will rise again. I will rebuild. I will succeed. His belief gave him strength to act when others would have given up. Slowly he built again. One step at a time. One day at a time. Years later, he not only restored his wealth, he multiplied it beyond what he had ever imagined. What carried him? Not luck. Not talent. But faith, unshakable belief in himself and his destiny. Building your faith. You too can build unshakable faith. Affirm daily. Speak your desires as if they are already true. Visualize success. See your goal completed in vivid detail. Guard your mind. Refuse to let negativity and doubt dominate your thoughts. Act with courage. Faith grows when you step forward, even in uncertainty. Faith is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I believe in myself. I believe in my dream. I believe that wealth and achievement are mine to claim. My faith is stronger than my fear. My belief is the foundation of my success. This is the second law of wealth, faith and belief. It is the energy that sustains desire and turns dreams into action. In the next chapter, we will explore the third law, autosuggestion, the practice of training your mind through repeated thought until belief becomes reality. Chapter 3, Autosuggestion. The mind is like a garden. Every thought you plant is a seed. And with time, those seeds grow into beliefs, habits, and eventually into results. But here is the truth. Most people do not choose the seeds they plant. They allow the world, the media, the opinions of others, and their own fears to scatter weeds into their minds. And then they wonder why their lives produce disappointment instead of success. Autosuggestion is the discipline of taking control of your mental garden. It is the deliberate planting of thoughts that empower you, strengthen you, and align with your desires. It is the conscious act of feeding your subconscious with commands that shape your destiny. The subconscious mind, your silent partner. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It does not judge. It does not argue. It simply accepts what it hears most often and works to make it real. If you constantly tell yourself, "I am broke, I am unlucky, I can't do this," your subconscious accepts those words as truth. It then shapes your behavior, your confidence, and even your perception of opportunities to match that belief. But if you repeatedly affirm, "I am wealthy, I am capable, I am worthy of success," your subconscious accepts that too. And once your subconscious believes, it influences your decisions, your energy, and your focus to create that reality. Autosuggestion is the tool by which you reprogram your subconscious for success. Words shape destiny. Never underestimate the power of words. The words you speak to yourself are commands to your subconscious. If you say, "This is too hard, I'll never make it," your subconscious shuts down effort. But if you say, "This is a challenge, but I am more than capable," your subconscious energizes you with confidence. Wealthy people are not careless with their words. They know that every phrase is either planting weeds of failure or seeds of success. So they guard their language, they affirm their goals, and they speak as if their dreams are already real. Visualization. Seeing is believing. Autosuggestion is not only about words. It is also about images. When you visualize your goal as if it is already achieved, you impress it upon your subconscious mind. Your brain cannot distinguish vividly imagined experiences from real ones. And so, visualization creates belief, and belief drives action. If you want wealth, see it. If you want freedom, imagine it. If you want success, picture it in detail until it feels inevitable. The formula for autosuggestion. Napoleon Hill taught a simple but powerful formula for autosuggestion. State your desire clearly. Example, I will earn $100,000 by December 31st through my online business. Declare your commitment. I will give my best energy, creativity, and persistence to achieve this. Set a timeline. A goal without a deadline is only a dream. Repeat it daily. Speak it aloud, write it down, meditate upon it. Visualize the result. Imagine the feeling of already living in your achievement. Through repetition, your subconscious accepts the statement, and once belief is formed, action follows naturally. A story of autosuggestion. There was once a man who struggled with poverty. For years he tried to succeed but failed again and again. One day he learned about autosuggestion. At first he doubted it could work. How could repeating words change his reality? But in desperation he tried. Every morning and every night he affirmed, "I am successful. I am disciplined. I am wealthy. I am building a business that prospers." At first he felt like a liar. But slowly something changed. His belief grew. His confidence increased. He started noticing opportunities he once ignored. He began taking bolder action. Years later he was wealthy beyond what he once thought possible. And he credited it not to luck, but to the power of autosuggestion that reprogrammed his mind for success. Guarding against negative suggestions. Just as you can feed your mind positive affirmations, the world will try to feed you negative ones. News headlines scream fear. Friends and family may doubt you. Your own inner critic whispers failure. If you allow these voices to dominate, they will shape your subconscious in the wrong direction. That is why you must be intentional. Reject negative suggestions. Replace them with affirmations of strength and success. Your mind cannot serve two masters. It will believe whichever voice you feed most often. Your daily practice. Make autosuggestion a daily ritual. Morning, as soon as you wake, speak your affirmations. Program your day with belief. Throughout the day, guard your words. Refuse to speak defeat over yourself. Night, before sleep, repeat your affirmations again. Let them sink deep into your subconscious as you rest. Do this consistently and you will begin to notice shifts. Your confidence will grow. Your focus will sharpen. Your results will multiply. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I take control of my mind. I feed it only thoughts of success, wealth, and achievement. Through repetition, I build unshakable belief. My subconscious works for me, guiding me toward riches and greatness. This is the third law of wealth, autosuggestion. It is the tool by which you program your mind for riches. In the next chapter, we will explore the fourth law, specialized knowledge, why general information is not enough, and how focused knowledge becomes power in your pursuit of wealth. Chapter 4, Specialized Knowledge. We live in an age overflowing with information. Books, schools, the internet, endless courses. Knowledge is everywhere. And yet, despite this abundance, many remain broke, stuck, and unfulfilled. Why? Because general knowledge, no matter how vast, does not lead to wealth. It is specialized knowledge, focused, applied, and directed toward a purpose, that creates riches. The difference between general and specialized knowledge. General knowledge is broad and scattered. It makes you aware of many things but master of none. It may make you interesting in conversation, but it does not make you wealthy. Specialized knowledge, on the other hand, is precise. It is directed toward solving a problem, creating value, or building a skill that others will pay for. A doctor does not become wealthy because they know general science. They become wealthy because they mastered specialized medical knowledge. An entrepreneur does not succeed by knowing a little about everything. They succeed because they identified one area of opportunity, focused, and developed expertise that others lacked. Wealth comes not from knowing much, but from knowing something specific and applying it well. Knowledge alone is not power. We have all heard the phrase, knowledge is power. But this is incomplete. Knowledge is potential power. It only becomes power when organized and applied toward a definite purpose. A library full of books has no power unless the knowledge is used. A mind full of facts is powerless unless those facts are turned into action. Wealthy people do not collect knowledge for the sake of appearing smart. They acquire specialized knowledge that helps them solve problems, serve others, and create wealth. Where to find specialized knowledge? You do not need to know everything. You only need to know enough in one area to create value. Specialized knowledge can come from formal education or training, apprenticeships and mentorships, personal study and deep research, experience gained through trial and error, surrounding yourself with experts and building a mastermind group. The method matters less than the result. Targeted knowledge that helps you achieve your definite purpose. Specialization in the modern world. Today, opportunities for specialization are greater than ever. The world rewards experts, not generalists. Consider technology. A programmer who knows many languages superficially may struggle. But one who specializes deeply in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, or blockchain can command extraordinary value. Consider business. A marketer who tries to master every platform may spread too thin. But one who specializes in mastering Facebook ads or TikTok growth can generate wealth because of their focused skill. Specialization is leverage. It allows you to do what few others can do, and to be rewarded accordingly. The wealth of application. But remember, knowledge without action is wasted. Specialized knowledge must be applied. A person may have years of education and still struggle financially because they never directed their knowledge toward a clear purpose. Meanwhile, someone with limited education but strong specialized skills, applied with persistence, can become wealthy. The key is not what you know but what you do with what you know. A story of specialized knowledge. There was once a man who wanted to succeed in business but had little formal education. Instead of trying to know everything, he focused on one thing: understanding people. He studied human behavior, persuasion, and motivation. He became an expert in sales and communication. That one area of specialized knowledge made him invaluable. He built a sales empire, trained thousands, and became a millionaire. Others with more general knowledge looked at him with envy. But the difference was clear. They had knowledge, he had specialized mastery. The shortcut of association. You do not always need to personally acquire every piece of specialized knowledge. Often, wealth is built by surrounding yourself with those who already have it. This is the power of the mastermind. By bringing together people with different areas of specialized knowledge, you multiply your ability to succeed. A great leader does not need to know everything. They need to know who to ask, who to partner with, and how to organize knowledge into action. Your call to specialize. Pause and reflect. What do you know now that could be developed into specialized knowledge? What problem could you solve that people would pay for? What skill could you master that would set you apart? Do not scatter your energy across many pursuits. Focus. Go deep. Master one area until you become irreplaceable. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I will no longer waste my energy on general knowledge. I will focus, specialize, and master the knowledge that creates wealth. I will apply what I know with purpose, and I will surround myself with others whose knowledge complements my own. Specialized knowledge is my path to riches. This is the fourth law of wealth, specialized knowledge. It is the difference between being informed and being rich. In the next chapter we will explore the fifth law, imagination, the workshop of the mind where ideas are transformed into wealth. Chapter 5, Imagination. Every invention, every fortune, every great achievement began as an idea. The skyscraper was once only a vision in the mind of an architect. The airplane was once only a dream in the hearts of two brothers. The smartphone you hold in your hand was once an impossible fantasy. Imagination is the workshop of the mind. It is the place where desire takes shape, where faith finds direction, where specialized knowledge is transformed into innovation. Without imagination, desire has no form. Without imagination, knowledge remains unused. Without imagination, faith lacks vision. Imagination is the bridge between thought and reality. Two types of imagination. Napoleon Hill described two kinds of imagination. Synthetic imagination. This is when you combine old ideas into new arrangements. You take what already exists and rearrange it to serve a new purpose. Most inventions and businesses begin here, by improving, adapting, or recombining what already is. Creative imagination. This is when entirely new ideas emerge, often from inspiration, intuition, or flashes of insight. It is as if the mind taps into something greater, a universal intelligence, a source beyond the individual. Great breakthroughs are born here. Both forms of imagination are powerful. Both can lead to wealth. Imagination turns desire into plans. Desire says, I want wealth. Faith says, I believe I can achieve it. Specialized knowledge gives you tools. But imagination asks, how? It takes your burning desire and crafts it into a plan, a product, a business, a method. Imagination is not about fantasy alone. It is about practical creation. It is about transforming the invisible into the visible, the intangible into the tangible. The millionaire's tool. Every self-made millionaire used imagination as their first tool. Before the business was built, it was imagined. Before the product was sold, it was imagined. Before the fortune was earned, it was imagined. This is why the poor often remain poor. They never dare to imagine more. Their imagination is filled with limits, with fear, with reasons why wealth is impossible. And so they create the life they imagine, one of lack. But the wealthy imagine abundance, freedom, possibility. And so they create the life they imagine, one of riches. Imagination requires exercise. Like a muscle, imagination grows stronger the more you use it. If you only think within the box of what already exists, your imagination weakens. But if you allow yourself to brainstorm, to dream, to ask, what if, and why not, your imagination expands. The most successful people schedule time for imagination. They take walks. They sit in silence. They brainstorm freely without judgment. And in those moments, ideas are born, ideas that lead to fortunes. A story of imagination. There was once a man who sold ordinary office supplies. His income was steady but limited. One day, while observing his customers, he asked himself, what if there were a way to sell directly to businesses on a massive scale, rather than store by store? From that spark of imagination came the idea of catalog sales, and eventually online supply chains. That one imaginative leap transformed an ordinary salesman into a wealthy pioneer. It was not luck. It was not chance. It was imagination applied to desire. Fear, the enemy of imagination. Fear is the greatest enemy of imagination. When fear rules your mind, it shuts down creativity. It whispers, don't try. Don't risk. Don't imagine bigger. But when you replace fear with faith, your imagination awakens. You begin to see possibilities instead of problems. You begin to dream solutions instead of excuses. Wealthy people refuse to let fear choke their imagination. They dare to think differently. And because they dare, they create. Training your imagination for wealth. You can train your imagination daily. Write ideas daily. Challenge yourself to write 10 new ideas every morning. Not all will be great, but the practice sharpens your creative muscles. Ask better questions. Instead of asking, "Can I?" ask, "How can I?" Visualize success. Use imagination to rehearse the life you desire. Collaborate. Share ideas with others. Imagination multiplies in a mastermind. Act on ideas, even small ones. Action validates imagination and builds confidence. The billion-dollar mindset. Remember this truth: ideas are wealth. Every great fortune began with one good idea. But ideas alone are not enough. They must be combined with desire, faith, knowledge, and action. A single spark of imagination, acted upon with persistence, can become a billion-dollar reality. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I awaken my imagination. I allow myself to dream. I allow myself to see beyond limits. My imagination transforms my desire into plans, my plans into action, and my action into wealth. I am a creator and my ideas are valuable. This is the fifth law of wealth: imagination. It is the workshop of the mind where riches are first built. In the next chapter we will explore the sixth law, organized planning, the practical blueprint that turns imagination into real achievement. Chapter 6, Organized Planning. Desire gives you fire. Faith gives you confidence. Knowledge gives you tools. Imagination gives you vision. But without a plan, even the greatest vision remains only a dream. Wealth does not come to those who wish, hope, or even imagine without structure. It comes to those who create organized plans and act upon them with persistence. The difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers imagine but never plan. They say, "One day I'll start a business, someday I'll get rich." But because they never translate their vision into a step-by-step plan, someday never arrives. Doers, on the other hand, put their dreams into writing. They build a plan even if imperfect. And through that plan they create action. A plan is the bridge between imagination and reality. Without it, your desire is a fantasy. With it, your desire becomes a project and your project becomes a result. Plans give direction. Imagine trying to build a house with no blueprint. Workers would be confused. Materials would be wasted. Chaos would rule. But with a blueprint, every person knows their role. Every nail, every beam, every brick serves a purpose. So it is with wealth. Your money, your energy, your time, without a plan they scatter. With a plan they align. Plans do not have to be perfect. Here is the good news. Your first plan does not need to be flawless. Most wealthy people began with imperfect plans. But instead of waiting for perfection they acted. And as they acted they adjusted. Each mistake became a teacher. Each setback refined the plan. Wealthy people know this truth. A flawed plan acted upon is worth more than a perfect plan never begun. Persistence gives life to plans. The best plan in the world will fail if abandoned too soon. This is why persistence is the twin of planning. Every plan encounters obstacles. Every plan faces resistance. But persistence transforms obstacles into stepping stones. The weak abandon their plans at the first sign of trouble. The strong persist, adapt, and continue, and in time they succeed. The power of organization. Organized planning is not only about steps and schedules. It is also about people. Rarely does anyone succeed alone. Great fortunes are built by teams, partnerships, and networks. A plan that includes others, advisors, mentors, collaborators, multiplies its strength. This is why the wealthy form mastermind groups. They understand that 2 minds working together are stronger than 1, and 10 are stronger still. An organized plan coordinates not only your effort but the effort of others. A story of organized planning. There was once a man with a brilliant idea for a new product. His imagination was strong, his desire unshakable. But for years his idea remained only a dream because he had no plan. Finally he sat down and mapped it out. What resources did he need? Who could he partner with? What steps would lead from prototype to market? He broke the idea into daily, weekly, monthly actions. He gathered a small team. He executed step by step. Within a few years his product was a household name. The idea was powerful but the organized plan made it real. A story of imagination. There was once a man who sold ordinary office supplies. His income was steady but limited. One day, while observing his customers, he asked himself, what if there were a way to sell directly to businesses on a massive scale, rather than store by store? From that spark of imagination came the idea of catalog sales, and eventually online supply chains. That one imaginative leap transformed an ordinary salesman into a wealthy pioneer. It was not luck. It was not chance. It was imagination applied to desire. Fear, the enemy of imagination. Fear is the greatest enemy of imagination. When fear rules your mind, it shuts down creativity. It whispers, don't try. Don't risk. Don't imagine bigger. But when you replace fear with faith, your imagination awakens. You begin to see possibilities instead of problems. You begin to dream solutions instead of excuses. Wealthy people refuse to let fear choke their imagination. They dare to think differently. And because they dare, they create. Training your imagination for wealth. You can train your imagination daily. Write ideas daily. Challenge yourself to write 10 new ideas every morning. Not all will be great, but the practice sharpens your creative muscles. Ask better questions. Instead of asking, can I? Ask, how can I? Visualize success. Use imagination to rehearse the life you desire. Collaborate. Share ideas with others. Imagination multiplies in a mastermind. Act on ideas, even small ones. Action validates imagination and builds confidence. The billion-dollar mindset. Remember this truth, ideas are wealth. Every great fortune began with one good idea. But ideas alone are not enough. They must be combined with desire, faith, knowledge, and action. A single spark of imagination, acted upon with persistence, can become a billion-dollar reality. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I awaken my imagination. I allow myself to dream. I allow myself to see beyond limits. My imagination transforms my desire into plans, my plans into action, and my action into wealth. I am a creator and my ideas are valuable. This is the fifth law of wealth, imagination. It is the workshop of the mind where riches are first built. In the next chapter we will explore the sixth law, organized planning, the practical blueprint that turns imagination into real achievement. Chapter 6, Organized Planning. Desire gives you fire. Faith gives you confidence. Knowledge gives you tools. Imagination gives you vision. But without a plan, even the greatest vision remains only a dream. Wealth does not come to those who wish, hope, or even imagine without structure. It comes to those who create organized plans and act upon them with persistence. The difference between dreamers and doers. Dreamers imagine but never plan. They say, one day I'll start a business, someday I'll get rich. But because they never translate their vision into a step-by-step plan, someday never arrives. Doers, on the other hand, put their dreams into writing. They build a plan even if imperfect. And through that plan they create action. A plan is the bridge between imagination and reality. Without it, your desire is a fantasy. With it, your desire becomes a project and your project becomes a result. Plans give direction. Imagine trying to build a house with no blueprint. Workers would be confused. Materials would be wasted. Chaos would rule. But with a blueprint, every person knows their role. Every nail, every beam, every brick serves a purpose. So it is with wealth. Your money, your energy, your time, without a plan they scatter. With a plan they align. Plans do not have to be perfect. Here is the good news. Your first plan does not need to be flawless. Most wealthy people began with imperfect plans. But instead of waiting for perfection they acted. And as they acted they adjusted. Each mistake became a teacher. Each setback refined the plan. Wealthy people know this truth. A flawed plan acted upon is worth more than a perfect plan never begun. Persistence gives life to plans. The best plan in the world will fail if abandoned too soon. This is why persistence is the twin of planning. Every plan encounters obstacles. Every plan faces resistance. But persistence transforms obstacles into stepping stones. The weak abandon their plans at the first sign of trouble. The strong persist, adapt, and continue, and in time they succeed. The power of organization. Organized planning is not only about steps and schedules. It is also about people. Rarely does anyone succeed alone. Great fortunes are built by teams, partnerships, and networks. A plan that includes others, advisors, mentors, collaborators, multiplies its strength. This is why the wealthy form mastermind groups. They understand that 2 minds working together are stronger than 1, and 10 are stronger still. An organized plan coordinates not only your effort but the effort of others. A story of organized planning. There was once a man with a brilliant idea for a new product. His imagination was strong, his desire unshakable. But for years his idea remained only a dream because he had no plan. Finally he sat down and mapped it out. What resources did he need? Who could he partner with? What steps would lead from prototype to market? He broke the idea into daily, weekly, monthly actions. He gathered a small team. He executed step by step. Within a few years his product was a household name. The idea was powerful, but the organized plan made it real. Persistence is built, not born. Persistence is not a gift given to a chosen few. It is a habit anyone can build. Each time you refuse to quit, your persistence grows stronger. Each time you push through difficulty, your resilience increases. Persistence is a muscle. The more you use it, the more powerful it becomes. The enemies of persistence. Beware of the enemies of persistence. Excuses. The habit of rationalizing failure weakens persistence. Fear. Fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of effort. All drain persistence. Distraction. Wasting energy on unimportant things steals focus. Impatience. Wanting quick results makes people abandon the process too soon. Guard yourself against these enemies. Fueling persistence. How do you stay persistent when everything in you wants to quit? Keep your desire burning. Revisit your why daily. Use faith. Remind yourself that success is inevitable if you refuse to quit. Break goals into steps. Focus on the next action, not the entire mountain. Surround yourself with strength. A mastermind group will lift you when your energy fades. Celebrate progress. Each small win keeps your fire alive. Persistence is not about never feeling tired. It is about pressing forward even when tired. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I will not quit. I will not surrender. I will persist until I succeed. Every setback is a lesson, every rejection a step closer, every obstacle a test of my resolve. I am persistent, and because I persist, I will win. This is the 7th law of wealth. Persistence. It is the shield against defeat, the engine of success, the habit that guarantees riches. In the next chapter we will explore the 8th law, the power of decision and the mastermind alliance, how clarity and association multiply success. Chapter 8, Mastermind and Decision. No person achieves great wealth alone. No empire, no invention, no movement has ever been the work of a single individual. Behind every fortune stands 2 great forces. The power of decision and the power of association. Decision gives you clarity. Association gives you strength. Together they create momentum that no obstacle can withstand. The power of decision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. It steals time, it steals energy, it steals wealth. How many people remain stuck because they refuse to decide? They say, I'll wait until I'm ready. I'll think about it. I'll try later. But later never arrives. The wealthy are decisive. They analyze quickly, decide firmly, and act immediately. They know that hesitation kills dreams faster than failure. A decision is a commitment. It is saying, this is the path I will take and I will not turn back. Weak people drift. Strong people decide. Indecision breeds doubt. When you delay decision, doubt grows. Your mind fills with what-ifs. Fear multiplies. But once you decide, your mind clears. Energy is released. Your subconscious rallies behind your choice. Decision cuts away alternatives and gives you focus. And focus creates power. The mastermind principle. While decision gives you focus, the mastermind principle gives you strength. A mastermind is a group of 2 or more people who align their knowledge, skills, and energy toward a common goal. When minds meet in harmony, a 3rd mind is created, a collective intelligence greater than any individual. This is why partnerships, teams, and alliances are the backbone of every great achievement. No matter how brilliant you are, your knowledge is limited. But through a mastermind, you gain access to the specialized knowledge, creativity, and perspective of others. History of the mastermind. Look at history and you will see mastermind alliances everywhere. Henry Ford built automobiles, but behind him stood Edison, Firestone, and a network of innovators. Andrew Carnegie built steel empires, But behind him was a team of experts who mastered finance, production, and distribution. Even great leaders and thinkers always surrounded themselves with advisors, allies, and collaborators. The myth of the self-made man is false. No one succeeds alone. Every fortune is the product of a mastermind. Choosing your mastermind. The quality of your mastermind determines the quality of your success. If you surround yourself with negative, fearful, unambitious people, your mind will shrink. If you surround yourself with bold, creative, disciplined people, your mind will expand. Choose partners who believe in your vision. Choose advisors who bring specialized knowledge. Choose friends who lift you higher instead of pulling you down. Your wealth will reflect the company you keep. Decision and mastermind together. Decision without support may weaken. A mastermind without decisions becomes chaos. But together, decision and mastermind create unstoppable force. Decide what you want. Gather people who can help you achieve it. Commit together. Act together. This is how fortunes are built. A story of decision and mastermind. There was once a young entrepreneur with a dream of starting a new kind of business. He hesitated for years, fearing failure. Finally, he decided, I will do this no matter what. That single decision lit a fire. He gathered 3 trusted friends. Each brought a different skill: marketing, finance, and operations. Together, they formed a mastermind. Within 5 years, their small idea became a national company. The turning point was not luck. It was the combination of one firm decision and one powerful alliance. The enemies of decision and mastermind. Beware of 2 dangers. Procrastination. Waiting to feel ready leads to a lifetime of hesitation. Toxic associations. Surrounding yourself with doubters, complainers, and cynics will drain your vision. Guard against these with urgency and discernment. Your call to action. Pause and reflect. What decision have you been postponing? What commitment have you delayed? Decide now. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Decide and conditions will align. Then ask yourself, who can I join with? Who has knowledge I lack? Who will walk beside me toward this vision? Seek them, invite them, and form your mastermind. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. I will decide quickly and firmly. I will not drift or hesitate. I will surround myself with powerful minds, united in purpose. Through decision and association, I multiply my strength. My mastermind will carry me to wealth and achievement. This is the 8th law of wealth: decision and the mastermind. Together, they transform individual desire into collective power. In the next and final chapter, we will face the greatest barrier to wealth: fear, the silent enemy that holds countless people in poverty. Chapter 9: Overcoming Fear. Fear. It is the greatest enemy of success. It is the silent thief of dreams. It is the invisible chain that holds millions in poverty, mediocrity, and regret. Every other obstacle can be conquered: lack of knowledge, lack of money, lack of connections. But if fear controls you, none of your strengths matter. To build wealth, you must master fear. You must refuse to let it dictate your choices. You must rise above it and act in spite of it. The 6 basic fears. Napoleon Hill identified 6 fears that hold people back. Fear of poverty. The dread of not having enough, which keeps people from taking risks that could make them rich. Fear of criticism. The worry about what others think, which keeps people from daring to be different. Fear of ill health. The obsession with sickness, which drains energy and focus. Fear of loss of love. The insecurity of being abandoned, which makes people compromise their vision. Fear of old age. The belief that time is running out, which paralyzes effort. Fear of death. The ultimate fear, which robs people of joy and courage to live fully. These fears dominate the minds of the masses. But the wealthy and successful learn to conquer them. Fear is an illusion. Understand this: fear is mostly imagination. It is the mind projecting disaster before it even happens. It is a picture of failure painted by doubt. Most fears never come true. And yet, they paralyze people from acting. The wealthy learn to see fear for what it is: false evidence appearing real. They feel it, acknowledge it, but move forward anyway. Fear versus faith. Faith and fear cannot exist together. Where one lives, the other dies. If you feed fear with your thoughts, faith withers. If you feed faith with your thoughts, fear dissolves. This is why affirmations, visualization, and decision are so powerful. They are tools to replace fear with faith. Your mind is always choosing. Choose faith. The price of fear. Fear has destroyed more dreams than failure ever did. It has kept more people poor than any lack of opportunity. It has silenced more voices, delayed more plans, and killed more courage than all other obstacles combined. Fear costs you wealth. It costs you freedom. It costs you the life you could have lived. The price of fear is far greater than the price of risk. Courage is acting despite fear. Courage does not mean you never feel fear. It means you act in spite of fear. Every wealthy person has felt fear. Fear of failure. Fear of ridicule. Fear of losing everything. But they acted anyway. They stepped forward despite trembling hands. They pressed go despite racing hearts. And in action, fear lost its grip. A story of fear defeated. There was once a man with a brilliant idea for a business. But he was crippled by fear of criticism. What would people say if he failed? For years he hesitated. But finally he realized, the laughter of others would not kill him, but regret surely would. He acted. Yes, some mocked him. Yes, some doubted him. But as he persisted, his business grew, and soon even his critics admired him. Fear had stolen years from him, but once defeated, it could never stop him again. Practical steps to overcome fear. Identify your fear. Name it clearly. What exactly are you afraid of? Challenge it. Ask, what's the worst that could happen? Could I survive it? Replace it. Use affirmations and visualization to feed faith instead of fear. Act small. Take one step despite fear. Action builds courage. Repeat. The more you face fear, the weaker it becomes. Fear shrinks when confronted. It grows when avoided. Your declaration. Say this to yourself now. Fear will not control me. Fear will not steal my dream. I choose faith, I choose courage, I choose action. I act in spite of fear, and in acting, I conquer it. Nothing will stop me from wealth and achievement. The final law of wealth. This is the 9th and final law of wealth. Overcoming fear. Desire begins the journey. Faith sustains it. Autosuggestion programs the mind. Specialized knowledge gives direction. Imagination creates vision. Organized planning builds structure. Persistence carries you forward. Decision and mastermind multiply your strength. And overcoming fear removes the final barrier. When these 9 laws work together, wealth is inevitable. Closing words. Riches do not come by accident. They come by law. They come to those who desire strongly, believe deeply, act persistently, and refuse to bow to fear. Your future is not written by chance. It is written by the choices you make, the faith you hold, and the courage with which you face your fears. So choose wealth. Choose achievement. Choose meaning. And remember always, the only real limitation in life is the one you accept in your mind. Conquer fear and the world opens to you.